The contract comprises of an agreement that covers certain terms, conditions, and protects the rights of both parties involved in a said contract. The contracts used to cover all sorts of terms and conditions and act as binding between the parties. The contracts are of various kinds and their particulars added in a specific contract depend upon its specificity or purpose for which it is written. There are many kinds of contracts and contract writing always depends upon the need of the hour. The need for which a contract is crafted drives the contract writing in general. It is the single most important factor that controls all sorts of contract writing. The contract will certainly start with the induction of the title of the contract, for example a car sale contract, an employment contract or any other service contract. It is then followed by the mention of the date, as date describes the validity of a particular contract. There is more than one factor that has its impact upon the validity of the contract. Things like guarantee, free service over parts are always subject to the time period. This is reason why date is mentioned right at the top of the contract and is also discussed in the description of the contract. Description of the contract starts right after the title and date. The corporation details are also provided at the top in certain cases. The description describes the details of a particular contract. It describes how and among whom the contract holds well and how long it will remain applicable among agreeing parties. Everything, including terms, conditions, guarantees and warranties are mentioned in the description of the contract. An employment contract, for example, starts with the title and its description includes all required particulars in detail. It describes everything about the binding between the employer and the employee and protects each of them comprehensively. Every contract has different description, but there are few things that can be found common in each of the contracts settled among two or more parties. The most common of all those is the protection of rights that each contract shows in the core of its description. The contract acts as binding over two or more agreeing parties and protects each other's rights in a very sophisticated manner. In case of employment contract, for example, there can be many elements under discussion. But a particular describing employer's duties and accordingly wages will always be there. It will protect the employer and will let it get its job done for the payment it will make, while for the employee it will ensure the wages for the duties it will perform. The story is very much true about all other contract types. The description of the contract covers all relevant factors and ensures protection of each party's rights. The ultimate aim of the contract is to ensure that none of the involving parties must be on the losing side. The description is then followed by the details of witnesses, their signatures, and seals. Any legal item is also added if required for a particular contract.